3 simple steps to negotiate a home price like a pro. So first of all, you just found the home of your dreams. You're loving it. You're picturing your life there. The kids are growing up, making memories there. But then you see the price tag. Bam! What a gut punch. Now you think that the dream is becoming a false reality, and you won't be able to get the home. But hold on, before you panic, just give me 1 minute. I'm going to make this dream a possibility for you. Okay, so step one, know the numbers. This one is super important. This is how you're going to start everything off for your offer. You're going to go into, you're going to talk to your realtor, or go into all the stats that you have. You're going to look at within a 1 to 2 kilometer radius of the property you're looking at. This will vary based on different types of homes. If you're looking at townhomes, it could be very easily done within a 1 to 2 kilometer radius. If you're looking at homes that are rural properties, those you might need to expand your search a little bit. But the biggest thing you're going to look for is what's sold in the last 60 to 90 days and even up to 6 months sometimes, depending on how much properties are available in the area, right? That you're going to want to look at the comparative market analysis, or comps, as we like to call it. You wouldn't buy a car without checking similar priced cars. You would do this. You won't do the same with the house, right? So pull the last 6 months of sold homes, ideally within a 1 to 2 kilometer radius. And then if similar homes sold for 5% under asking, you now have a data backed reason to start your offer there, right? So these are things that, you can even send them, here's my offer, here's the homes that we're comparing to. We find your home slightly better or slightly worse, and this is what we're comparing to. Next, you want to check the days on market, or DOM, right? So this one is very, very important. If a home's been sitting for 60, 90, or 120 days, this is a flashing neon sign telling you, hey, come get me, right? I'm here for a deal. And that's the big one, is negotiate with me. With those homes that are sitting on the market, you want to try and negotiate as much as possible in favorable terms too, right? So the longer a house sits, the more motivated a seller becomes. They know that, they're probably not getting viewings on a weekly basis. They're maybe getting 1 or 2 every couple of weeks. And that's leverage. Also look for price drops. The big one here is if you see consecutive price drops coming in on a property, that means they either started off way too high, or they're motivated to sell, right? So these are all things that you want to look out for. Finally, and this is a non-negotiable, get pre-approved. Not pre-qualified, but actually pre-approved, where either your broker or the bank has all your documents, has pulled the credit report, you're ready to go. All you need is the property info. And that's where you want to be, because that'll show this. To get that done, you don't need a couple of days. You can get that in a day or two done max, and that'll shorten your conditional period for financing, which will show the seller, hey, these guys are ready to go. These guys are ready to make a move. If I don't sell it to them, then they're going to be buying something else. So that's a big one. You want to make sure that you have that done and ready to go. Now we're going to go to step 2. This one is make them an offer they can't refuse. So this one is super important, because this is where the fun starts. Fun for me, but overall, this is where you get excited, right? So you got to give them some things, right? As a buyer, you got to scratch somebody's back to get your back scratched. So this is how I look at it: is, you want the price, the seller wants the price, and how can we meet that in between to get that done, right? So a couple of different ways. Closing date is a super important one, because sometimes closing date will solve a lot more problems than a price will, right? If somebody's looking to close on a property very quickly, that means it's off their books very quickly as well. So less time on the market, less time being invested on it, less time holding the property. Bills such as, property tax, hydro, electricity, all these things stop when the property is sold. So this is by having the closing date that they want. So let's say they want a quick closing date, you would offer them something like that, right? Then the next one is talk about your deposit. So, are you putting the bare minimum that you need to get a deal done? The deposit's held in trust anyways, so it doesn't become binding until your deal is firm, so all your conditions have passed. So this is another one where, you can say, okay, I'm going to give you $20,000 in deposit, so you can see that I'm actually serious and I do have the funds to make this deal work. And that's held in trust by the brokerage. Won't be released to the seller anyways if you don't work out your conditions. If you walk away from it, you get your deposit back regardless. So this one's super important, because it can actually help show how serious you are and how motivated you are to get this done. Now, a big one that I always like to add, this one is really big for those first-time home buyers. It's really big for family upsizers, downsizers, all that stuff, because you don't know who you're dealing with on the other end. So if a seller is selling their townhome, they're probably a family themselves, and they're probably moving up to a single home. And if you're a first-time home buyer or a young family and you're looking to buy that townhome, by you making this offer and you conveying to them that, hey, we're also like what you once were before. We'd really love to make a deal work, so please don't get insulted by our offer. This is what I recommend. You give them a nice offer letter. It's typically about 3 sentences maximum, 3 nice sentences. Tells them you talk about what things you loved about the home, how you picture yourself in the property, and a little bit about yourself, so they know they're not negotiating with a robot. It's an actual human being that's kind of been in the same position as them before. So um, that's the big one. You want to, it's pulling on the heartstrings, yes, but it's also making a relationship with the seller where both parties are actually real people trying to make a deal work, and not just somebody coming in there lowballing. It's not just a random investor coming to buy this townhouse that's just going to go rent it out next week. It's not a guy that's buying this older home that's just looking to flip it in 6 months. It's an actual family that wants to move in and make memories in it. So that's a really big one. And I find that even attaching a family photo, right? You have a nice family portrait of all you guys out there. It's going to help. It's going to tie things together and make this negotiation super simple and get all the bad feelings away from a low offer, all that gone, and make everybody just easy and have the willingness to negotiate actually. Step 3 is the biggest one, right? So now we're negotiate the price you want and stay cool. So here is where you got to really take it easy. You've done all your best to make this offer. Now you just wait to see the results, right? So now you make your offer, and in the hopes of getting a counter offer that's closer to your price, right? Or getting your offer accepted, that'd be A1, that'd be perfect. But the likelihood of you getting getting a counter offer is much more likely. So let's say you get that counter offer, it's a little bit higher than what you expected, but there's no need to lose your cool. You're already steps ahead than what you were a day ago when you made the offer, right? You were at a higher asking price. You've already gotten them down. Now just to tweak a few things, adjust a few things. Do you want some of the terms? Maybe you take out a few terms that you don't care about. Maybe you don't need their appliances that they're asking for a higher price for. Like, hey, we'll give you these appliances, but we want to stick to our price. Like maybe you leave a few appliances, or maybe you leave out a few inclusions and lower the price, right? Or maybe you just don't even bother with some of the terms that won't help them, or you shorten your terms, right? So you say, okay, you know what, we had originally done 5 days for the home inspection and the financing, but now let's say we get to our price, we'll do it in 2 days, right? We got a home inspector on standby. We have our bank is waiting for us. They just need to know about the property. Once that's done, we'll have our approval within hours, or maybe even a day at the most. So those are things that you can fire back at. And it's a good trading chip, right? Like you want to always have something to give back so you can hold on to something else, right? The inspection is your next superpower. This one is really, if you're, let's say you get stuck at a number and they don't want to accept it, they don't want to accept anything lower, and you're like, you know what, I'm going to take it for this price. I'll wait for the inspection. Hopefully there's nothing wrong. But if the inspection comes through and there's no tiny little things, like every home has tons of small stuff, new home, old home, you'd be surprised what I see. There is tons of stuff out there that happens to homes, just wear and tear over the reality of the home. But let's say the home inspector goes through and you find a major flaw or a major issue, right? A big ticket item is what we call it, right? So furnace is done, air conditioning is done, attic has a leak in it from the roof shingles, like all these things, right? Things that are going to cost you thousands. It's not like a few outlets that might, maybe you need to change an outlet and it's, $50 for the outlet, electrician's going to cost you $100, whatever, right? That's minimal stuff, and that's things that are going to go on during time. But big ticket items that last years, those are things that you want to negotiate on. So let's say the furnace blew and they didn't know about it, or it just happened while over the past few weeks that they've had it up for sale, and the furnace isn't running properly and they haven't serviced it in a while. This is something you say, okay, you know what? You don't have to replace it. I'll take it as is, but give me a credit. You go up, you ask the home inspector, what is a furnace this size going to cost me? Or, you can call a company, get a quote real quick, see what that's going to cost you. Let's say it's $8,000 for this example, right? So you tell them, okay, how about this? You guys knock off the price of the furnace, $8,000 off the purchase price, and then we don't have to talk about it ever again. And that's it. We take it as is. We'll take care of the furnace when we move in, or give us a credit. We'll keep the same price, but you guys give us an $8,000 credit on closing for us to buy the new furnace. So these are all different ways to structure this. And that one is a really big one, right? So negotiations during inspections happen all the time. Sometimes homes are perfect and there's nothing you need to worry about, or there's a lot of minimal stuff that you don't care about. You just keep moving, right? But if you're getting value from this, and I'd love to, if you're getting value from this, do me a quick favor and hit the like button. It helps more people see this video and help them in their journey to finding a home. And again, if you want my letter that I use in all my offers, drop the comment letter right below. So now we're gonna bring it home with a quick recap. And what it is basically what we got. Step one, know the numbers. Step two, craft an irresistible offer, an offer they can't refuse, right? And then step three, negotiate past price and stay cool. So get the price you want and keep it cool. Follow these strategies and you won't just buy a house, you'll buy a home that'll last you forever, and you'll make tons of memories then with money left in your pocket for things that actually matter. In conclusion, you have the playbook, you're armed with the knowledge. Now it's just time to get to work and find the home that you love and make these offers. Thank you, and I'll see you guys soon.